Hey everyone, welcome back to Is Your Six Covered? Scenario 13 answers. You guys did a great job. Great job, except for one person, TR. He didn't do very good. He killed himself. He bled out and died. But you guys had some great answers to scenario 13. Basically, you can go back and look at the scenario, figure out what you would do. Love your comments as always. A lot of great comments. I'm going to show you what I would do. And I actually did a video of it and how to wrap it up and that kind of stuff to make it a medical, learn a little bit about the medical, about not about basically mobilizing the tree that's in your leg. We didn't get into whether your phone worked or was in service or any of that stuff, so you're basically going to want to start 911, whatever the case is. A lot of you guys had great answers about if the phone didn't work, send a family member down to where phone service would work, call 911, get them started. Things that you're going to do while you're stuck there, we're going to talk about, but I wanted to make sure that one of your first things you should do is get the system of 911 started to your location. So let's get started. I will show you the video of things I did, and this was basically the medical portion of what I do. You guys had great ideas with, cutting a limb and using it as a crutch, but we're definitely not going to pull the leg out and cover it up and try to work your way back to camp. We're going to cut the branch, leave it as it is, immobilize it with what you have on hand. If you have a backpack and it has a bunch of medical gear, obviously you would use that. If you don't have that, you would use parts of your clothing as bandages and being able to tie that up and get that pressure so to stop the bleeding the best we can. Maybe it's gushing out so bad you're going to have to start a tourniquet. Great questions on the tourniquet one from before. On the medical gear one, I have medical gear. Now what do I do? There was a good question in there. Where do you put the tourniquet? Well, you're definitely going to put it above the injury, for the fact is that you may severed an artery, and it's basically like a tendon. It's elasticy. It could have gone back in a ways. So you're going to want to basically come up from the wound towards the heart and go ahead and put that tourniquet on. If you didn't do it in the right spot, your body's going to basically fill up with blood because you plugged it off at the one end where it had a chance to leak out of, but because you didn't go up high enough to get the artery, you're basically going to be filling up your insides. You're going to get swelling of blood and pooling of blood. This is the answers. You're hiking along, you go off the beaten path, you slip and fall, and you fell on a small 1-inch stub, basically that was cut by a machete where it had a sharp angle, and it went through your leg. So here, let's get started. Okay, so this is me pretending this is the tree branch that went through my leg. This part's going down into the dirt. Now I need to cut this off somehow. I don't want to pull this. I don't want to pull my leg off of this thing. I want to keep the branch in my leg. Okay, so let's just say I cut it off. I have a small pocket saw, or someone that's with me hiking has a small pocket saw. This tape right here, this is just to hold this stick on here. So things we're going to need. If we don't have anything, we didn't come prepared, let's say, we have a lot of stuff available. We have t-shirt material. We have pants. First thing we're going to do is cut this clothing off and expose the injury and see what we have. See what type of bleeding we have. This could be gushing out, or this could just be basically just barely bleeding out of each end here. Remember, there's two pieces here. This went all the way through my leg. So let's just pretend this is a shirt I had available, right? And everything I do on this side, I'm going to do on the other side, but for demonstration purposes, I'm going to basically pack this wound right here, okay, as good as I can. And I could use my other pant leg for long strips of material so that I can have stuff that'll wrap around this. But for today, I'll make it simple just because it's me doing it by myself. Basically, I brought some self-adhesive bandage material. This stuff works just as well. It's a Kerlix, comes in a roll. Okay, so there's this availability as well. But we're going to pretend this is a t-shirt for today. And we're going to pack this. Now we have we're bleeding out. We're bleeding per se. First things we're going to do is we need to stop the bleeding, right? We only got so much blood in us. We need to stop the bleeding. So we're going to start by basically wrapping this thing as tight as we can. The more pressure, the better, to get this to stop bleeding. Okay, so we're going to keep going around until I get to some actual flat stuff, since I used this already. But we're going to stabilize this. We want to stabilize the injury the best we can. We don't want this thing moving around and causing more injury to the leg, to ourselves basically. So we want to get this as tight as we can. Okay, and we keep going. We're gonna check for capillary refill down here and pulses in our feet. Make sure we're getting circulation. Maybe this foot looks real blue. All right, we're gonna take the shoe off, sock off, all that. Maybe that's blue. We need to get that person or ourselves the faster that we can to the emergency room. So hopefully, let's see what you guys said. Hopefully you got some great answers as always. Take care. Let's see what you guys said on this. I'll get started. Tom Olafson, after I stopped swearing, I would put a tourniquet above the wound. If it was pulsing blood, cut it off as close as I can to the leg. Get someone to put on in a litter or carry me out. If needed, I would fashion a crutch. My son broke his pelvis 2 miles down a horse path and hobbled out using his skateboard as a crutch. Remember to always carry a skateboard while hiking. Rush Creek Survival. This is Luke Banner. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him. Definitely get over to his channel because he has great information. He's in the medical field, or was in the medical field as a paramedic, but he says, from info that you had given, and only from that, I will make a few assumptions. Encourage the patient to not move, which could be you. Stay calm and start to treat the patient for shock. Keeping the patient warm. Expose the area, the injured area. Validate the severity. A call to 911 should be placed as soon as possible. Name the injured party, age, injury, and location. Heart rate and breathing, general condition of the patient. If the patient's condition or situation changes, update the responding services via 911. If the location is isolated and hard to locate, have a family member go back to the beginning of the trail, parking lot perhaps. Monitor heart rate and breathing. If the injury has blood loss, validate the volume, act appropriately. Tourniquet is life above limb. If you cannot reach 911 due to poor reception, then have family member go till they can find that reception and then return. Keep doing this as needed or as patient conditions change. And then he talks about, I won't get into extrication of patient as this I don't think you're looking for. He says, great scenario. And that is a outstanding answer. It's so outstanding that I'm just going to go ahead and say everybody's name in here. I'm not going to read everybody's great comments, but for the most part, everybody did an awesome job. We got Jade Schaefer, HRM Weapons Machinist, MCK, AZ Patriot. We got the Redneck Prepper, Oxjaw, Chris DIYer, TR Prepper, Kevin Lewis. And the reason why TR, we would never want to pull any type of puncture out of whatever it's stuck in, an arm, an eye, any of that stuff. We're going to isolate it where it is, package it up. If it's an eye, we're going to cover both eyes so that this eye's not moving around, because this will ruin this eye because they both go together. So you're going to want to isolate them both. If you're by yourself and trying to manipulate your way down to a road, that's going to be hard to do blindfolded. But if it's somebody else, you're definitely going to want to cover both eyes. Trees a blowing, JDS Hillbilly, Girls Like Guns 2, Embardo Smithing and Woodcraft, The Fat Man, and the Motorman 0057. Thank you guys, every one of you, for all your comments. I'm going to show a video, so I don't know how long this is going to work. I'm already at 6 minutes, so I have to be under the key 15-minute thing. So I'm going to leave that time for the actual answer. So thank you guys again. Appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed this. Like, share, and subscribe. Please share with your friends. I think these videos can be very beneficial to somebody. So take care. Have a great one.